prompt bunch today. Welcome to Parkway Sparks Incubator and Entrepreneurial Program. I will be your MC for the evening. My name is Drew Eckbach. I am also a mentor here for all these students and entrepreneurs. This is my second year as a mentor and Parkway's third year in existence. So this is the third year. We've learned a few things along the way, going through the motions a time or two. So not only do the students get a better experience, we learn more as we go. And we're here today to see what's coming on the horizon, what the next young crop of entrepreneurs are working on, what they're building, and how they're going about it. To give you guys a little bit of a background, we are going to have this as a judged competition. There's going to be 3 sets of judges, 2 judges each for 6 total. We found out that the judges like to give feedback and give the students information beyond just the scoring on their charts. So what we have done this year is each individual group of judges are going to pick 4 or 5 that they're actually going to provide feedback and judging on. And then as a group, they're going to make a determination on the winner. That way the students get the feedback that they need, which as mentors and as Xantha, we find most important. And we're still going to get the judging aspect at the end of the day to find out who is the true winner of tonight's competition and going to receive that extra boost of capital. Well, as we'll kick off, we'll spend a few minutes while the Broskies are getting ready and everybody's coming up to stage and sitting down to go ahead and kick off our introduction to our judges. First, starting on the left, we have John Fitzgerald, principal, Pattonville High School. Here in the middle, we have Jorge Toro, President and CEO of Menexio. Did I pronounce that right? Menexio. Next we have Ms. Stephanie Hornsby. She is a Parkway West test coordinator and also a Spark alumni. Next we have Stacy Hollins. Yes, Stacy Hollins is an associate professor at Maryville University. So these will be our judges across the board, helping to score our students. I'll kick it back over to the Broskies. Thanks for being patient and staying on stage for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Hi everybody, my name's Ethan Orman and I'm head finance bro. This is Josh Mignecco, head marketing bro, and that's Zach McCall, head social media bro, and we are Broskies. Through handmade designs and high quality materials, we pump out the most righteous sunglass straps known to man. We came up with the idea over the summer when the 3 of us were just hanging out at the pool, and we knew it would be a perfect fit for us because we've been friends since 6th grade and we love to wear sunglass straps. Since that day over the summer, Broskies has gone from an idea to a real business. Some accomplishments that we've had are starting our LLC, starting our first line of Broskies called The Liberators, which we actually just started selling today, creating our website, working with Rawlings, and finding a local manufacturer that was nice enough to help us out. Our cost structure is pretty simple. It's $2.85 for 1 unit, and we retail it at $10. Our profit is $7.15, and our return on investment is 250%. Our break even is when we have 20 sales, and our projected sales by November is to have 50 units sold, and over 1 year, 600 units sold. Now, when Spark started and we got serious about it, we looked at our competition in the market. We found out Brokies dominates the world of sunglass straps. Their average price is $12. They target boaters and fishers, and they have an annual revenue of $15 million. And that number really showed us that there was a market we could join and be a part of. But we also saw gaps. By them only targeting boaters and fishers, it means that they have to focus on the coastal areas. And we think that they're limiting themselves that way. And also, Brokies is boring. They don't embrace the lifestyle that a sunglass strap should give you. All they're worried about is the functionality. So we built our brand behind that and made our average price $10, and by targeting ages 16 through 30, we can focus on the demographics we know best ourselves. We say easier purchasing because, like I said earlier, Brokies is limiting their market, and we want to not only target people on coastal areas, but the Midwest as well. And by doing that, we believe we can double the size of our market compared to Brokies. And finally, the uniqueness of it. Brokies has the functionality down, but they don't have the fun. We plan to make the most righteous sunglass straps you could ever see by using the most creative designs we can come up with and using high quality leather as well.
Properly marketing and branding Broskies so that our target market is dying to be a part of our brand is our #1 goal. By viewing our brand as a person, a fun person that our target market would love to hang out with, we are able to establish a deeper connection with our customers, resulting in customer loyalty. A place packed with our target market is colleges. We've talked with 2 of our friends at Maryville about being possible brand ambassadors, and they said they'd be happy to join us. And then another one is Mizzou, who we talked to, and just recently they opened up a retail store called The Bridge, and they just passed $10,000 in revenue. And then we talked with The Bridge, and then we called them on the phone, and then they said they'd love to have us on the stores, on the shelves in their stores. So we're really ecstatic about looking forward to that opportunity.
So with the leather sunglass straps, we actually got in contact with one of our mentors from last year because he worked with Rawlings. And he was generous enough to give us some leather that we could work with and actually got us in contact with a manufacturer. And also, we're going to try and get in touch with Maryville and their Rawlings Sports Management Program to try to establish some sort of licensing agreement with Rawlings. So our money-making plan is pretty simple. We're going to use $300 for our new product line. We're going to use $100 for our marketing campaign. And we're going to use $100 for our emergency funds. Go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Broskies Gear. Go check out our sweet new website at broskiesgear.squarespace.com. And judges, thanks for coming to do this. Thanks audience for coming. And if you actually like to purchase a broski, you can meet us at our table near the front. Thanks again. Have a good night.
Hi, I'm Luke.
I'm Wes.
And we're Freed.
Freed is built on the idea of giving back. We provide students with trendy school supplies and also give them the opportunity to give back themselves. For every 1 school supply item sold, we donate to a student in need.
We're currently selling spiral-bound notebooks. Our notebooks feature a trendy design or image with an inside cover telling our story, 90 pages of filler paper, and a cardboard back. For every 1 sold, 1 is donated to a student in need. We have 3 lines of notebooks: the Hometown line, the Kansas City line, and the Kerala line.
Last summer, our business partner, Katie Hornsby, who is a freshman at Indiana University, had the opportunity through Spark to visit the RRUP Middle School in Kerala, India. Over her trip, she realized that these kids are lacking the basic school supplies that they need to thrive in their learning environments. So with her will to help, Freed was born.
On August 30th of 2015, we formed legally as a company. This was a huge milestone for us, but the next 2 months were pretty slow. But in October of 2015, our mentor, Mark Gelman, challenged us to sell and create 100 notebooks in just a month. We accepted this challenge, but had one problem. We had never actually made a notebook. So we sat down in a basement and figured out how we were going to do that. From this, the Kerala line was born. The Kerala line features 5 geometric patterns, and for every 1 sold, 1 is donated to a student in need. This is where we learned our first lessons as entrepreneurs. We realized that as an entrepreneur, you must always be moving forward and never stay where you are.
The next line we had is the Hometown line. The Hometown line was created due to the fact that the problems that were occurring in third world countries and in Kerala were also occurring in our own backyards. So the Hometown line features iconic St. Louis locations, and for every 1 sold, we donate here locally. And in February of 2016, we were actually able to donate 300 notebooks to the school in Kerala, India. And a problem occurred during this was actually getting the notebooks to Kerala, and also our credit card got canceled in the process due to fraud. I don't know, I guess they thought we were trying to commit some sort of fraud.
Banks don't trust teenagers. We've learned that, but for some reason they just don't trust us. In April of 2016, our business took a huge change. We partnered with our first business, Fit Flavors, a local health store here in St. Louis, and did our first business-to-business sale. We created 100 handmade notebooks for Fit Flavors, which they then handed out to their employees and clients. This was a huge deal for us. We had finally realized that selling 100 notebooks to one business was a whole lot easier than selling one notebook to one person and 2 notebooks to the other person. This is definitely what we took with us to move on with the rest of our company.
Last school year, through Spark, we were able to go and speak at Belle Rive Elementary School about entrepreneurship and owning a company. After our speech, 3 4th graders approached us saying they actually wanted to start their own online school store. So this past summer, we helped mentor them to launch their school store. We created custom notebook covers for their school store and sold them through their website. We also realized that Freed is much more than a notebook.
We'd like to announce our newest business-to-business sale with Brownsmith Walls. Brownsmith Walls is a local accounting firm here in St. Louis, and they've been a huge help to all the Spark businesses, but especially Freed with all of our accounting needs. And another big thing that we realized is that we were going out trying to find all these businesses who wanted to buy from us, when in reality, all we had to do was open our contact list and reach out to those people that we already had connections with. This was a huge lesson for us that we're really excited to take forward. As for the business-to-business aspect is really where we want to go with our company. School supply market's pretty rough because there's only high sales in 2 months out of the year. So if you can partner with businesses, it's a great promotional item for them and a really easy way for us to sell a lot of notebooks quickly. And all the great things we do are awesome, but none of it's possible without these numbers. So we are a for-profit company, and the cost to produce one notebook, which are all handmade, is $1.59. We sell them for $5. And gives us a profit of $3.41 with a 68% profit margin. We originally invested $300, excuse me, and we're currently up to about $4,000 in revenue, which is a huge return on investment, and we think that we can double that this year before 2017. So the most important thing about entrepreneurship, as the second-year Spark people, we realized that it's all about the lessons you learn. So the first thing that we really learned is that Freed is more than a notebook. We have notebooks that we sell, but we're not selling a notebook. We're selling a story, and we're selling the kids in India. Second lesson, which was surprisingly one of the most frustrating ones, was shipping to India is very hard. Some people say it's common sense, but I don't know. Also, making notebooks is not fun or easy, but that is definitely one of the things we are still looking for help with, is manufacturing. And the most important thing, I think, is it's always better to sell 100 notebooks than 5 notebooks. But entrepreneurship is always about learning, so we're really looking forward to learning more this year.
Thank you so much for coming out and supporting all the Spark businesses. And remember to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Freed Supplies, and visit our website at freedsupplies.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, my name's Hayden Crandall, and my company is Twisted Modern Interchangeable Bow Ties. So a little bit about myself. I fell in love with fashion at a young age, and this is probably due to the fact that my sisters used me as a human dress-up doll. Over the years, I just fell in love with the aesthetic of clothes, and I fell in love with putting together an outfit, and it made me feel complete. By 7th grade, I fell in love with wearing bow ties to school every day. This was kind of a thing that people recognized me at school for. They knew me as the kid who just wore bow ties. And so, the thing about bow ties is the way it makes you feel. That's what's most important. Bow ties give me such a feeling of self-confidence that I feel as though I can do anything that lies ahead of me. So, but one of the things was that wearing a bow tie made me feel like a nerd. And that's not always a bad thing, but being known as the nerd bow tie kid was intimidating. And a repetitive thing that I saw was that all bow ties were shiny, black, and felt like you were going to homecoming. So my idea was create a bow tie that you can mix and match to create your own style, using new trends and feel as though you're a modern man. And such fabrics include wool, hopsack, flannel, and salvage denim. I have a little demonstration of how the bow ties kind of work. I'm going to set this down for a second. All right, so you take 2 halves of a bow tie, and you simply slide the bow tie over, put it around your neck, and you get what I'm wearing. Pretty easy. So the market. Bow ties represent about 7% of the $850 million necktie market. That's about $60 million a year. And that's also an increase in the recent years. Bow ties were not really huge back in the 90s and the early 2000s, but as 2010 and on, bow ties have become more prevalent and more acceptable in the workplace. So my clientele, I am singling out the man who looks like he should be on the cover of GQ. This man probably spends $3,000 a month on clothes and doesn't care if he is balling out on whatever style. But the production costs. This is where I struggled. Everything was adding up and nothing was turning out. My bow ties, I was hand sewing. I had just learned from my grandma and they did not turn out great. That is a fact. They were awful. But that didn't stop me. I reached out to manufacturers. I've been talking to other people, and it's just not coming together right. But I am not giving up. So I'm seeking investors to invest at least $200, and for 1 entire year, they will get the bow ties of the month. That's 3 halves of a bow tie at an estimated value of $720, and they can keep up with the latest fashion trends and also include tips and updates of how to wear the bow tie with certain styles. My goal is to get an investor so I can start with original prototypes, get pre-orders, and get into manufacturing. So out with the old and in with the new, twisted, modern, interchangeable bow ties.
Hello, my name is Tyler Remitowski,
My name is Johnny Woklinski.
and we are Tidal Wave Hats. Tidal Wave Hats gives our customers the opportunity to create a customizable hat that fits their personality and style. So we decided to make our hats when we were so sick and tired of seeing the same old brands worn around in school and in public. And since Johnny and I have a great fashion sense and we love name brands and styles, we decided to go right at it. So with the help of his grandma, who's pictured there, we bought a sewing machine and learned how to sew. And now we're 2 teenagers with a business trying to develop a brand.
On July 3rd, 2016, our company started. We started with nothing but 25 blank hats. And I'm in the process of debating what our logo and our name was going to be. I found my mom's sewing kit and I saw some trim in there. And, inspired us in the name Tidal Wave. And, we've been growing ever since. So basically some humbling moments. Well, one day we were in Neiman Marcus and a sales associate basically told us that a famous rapper was coming in on August 2nd, and he suggested we make a hat for him and have him wear it and promote our brand. So on August 2nd, Tyler and I went in, we worked hard on this hat, and the sales associate told us that he was no longer coming in. However, the Cardinals player Johnny Peralta was coming in. So when we saw Johnny Peralta, we approached him, took a picture with him, and discussed our company. And we then realized that we forgot the hat at our home, and it was a big disappointment. And this moment really showed us that every company, it's never a smooth sail, there's always waves to it.
So how we're different. So Johnny and I currently both sew on our own hats, and we are totally customizable. You can pick the color hat, the wave, the threading. And we're most customizable like companies like Nike ID. Their items take forever to come back to you, and they're super costly. So we decided to run our company on an affordable price to get more people to wear hats to look unique and individualized. So our mission is to provide our customers with a customizable hat that fits their personality and style, allowing them to express their individuality. So our target market is the typical frat boy and the typical prepster. So we're looking to target prepsters from 14 to 25.
Market statistics. So basically, there are 43.75 million hats sold each year in the United States, and that's a $2.15 billion company. Tidal Wave Hats, we intend to tap into that industry because we feel like we are unique compared to every other hat company. Costs. To manufacture one hat, it costs $1.64 and 7 minutes of our time, which is worth 80 cents. You know, it could be more. We sell our hats for $15, and we've sold 85 plus hats, total revenue of $1,200. Recently, Tidal Wave Hats has gotten their LLC, fictitious name, business bank account, and business operating agreement. These things are really important to us because it shows us how far we've come and how official we really are.
So the future of Tidal Wave Hats. So we seek to hit the wave of fashion, and we want to be as big as these brands. And so in order to do so, if we win the pitch competition, we will improve our hat quality and quantity through an embroidery machine and better quality hats. Thank you all for coming out. This is our Instagram. Follow us at Tidal Wave Hats. Thank you, judges.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Alberry.
And I am Jordan Doyle.
And our company name is Fight.
For your team.
Fight is a promotional gear company focused towards high schools, local businesses, and clubs. Throughout our lives in high school, what is this one? Throughout our lives in high school, we have played sports in a wide variety from football, track, basketball, soccer, and even baseball. One thing that we have noticed lately is a steady decrease in school spirit in our teams as well as just the students. We would like to fix that. Just this week, we had a pep rally. This is a picture from that pep rally. What we would like to get by the end of our product line is our pep rallies to look something more like this. The problem that we are facing, like I said earlier, is the steady drop in school spirit in our schools. Also, our other uses are just promotional gear for companies, businesses to help promote. And another thing that we'd like to pursue is providing lifelong memories for mothers when their child leaves for college or military or other jobs.
Some things that we want to take advantage of. We're currently still in high school, so we know what our customers want, and most of our customers are our students. And most of our customers are our friends, like I just said. We both play sports, so we have many connections there and into our school. And we also believe that we have the best school in Parkway. The solution, we plan on providing accessories that are not already purchasable or products that are purchasable and upgrading them into in style or in hip.
Our first product that we are making is custom protein bottles that are, and our goal for these is to connect our sports teams together with our school. We have already ordered 100 of these for our school, Parkway South alone, and we've already had 60 pre-orders. Our profit margins, we are buying them for $4.40, and we're selling them for $10, so we're making around 130% profit.
Here is a small graph of our current target schools. We have over 60 pre-orders from our school alone, like Brandon just said, and we are currently talking to Smet about a possible deal, making shakers for them. Also, connection to junior programs is huge, like junior football program and other sports programs, and also other high schools in the St. Louis area. Our market is our target market is largely based on any families that are connected to sports on any level, whether that is elementary school, middle school, or high school. And also, we're trying to get the word out there, spread the word via social media, and just letting people know what our business is about.
So in terms of our competition, our biggest competitor is Blender Bottle. Blender Bottle has cheap products with very high quality. They are also actually partnered up with Custom Ink. Now, you may be wondering, what makes us better than these two huge companies combined together? Well, our product costs a lot less. For a custom protein shaker on Custom Ink, it costs around $20. But with us, we cut that price in half at only $10, while providing the same quality as these big brands. This is our business plan, so basically what we will do for our products is we'll come and think of a new idea, we'll talk about it and discuss it with our mentors and figure out if it is actually a good idea to pursue. Once we do that, we will go talk to our peers and see if people actually pre-order. We do this for about a week, and then once we see if it's a success or not, we will order our products. Then, once we ship them, it will take around 2 weeks for shipping. Once they come back, we will sell them to all our pre-orders immediately. Then we will sell to booster clubs, school, stores, and other regular customers. While we're doing this, we will also talk about new ideas and new products to sell. Once we sell out of that first product, we will discuss whether was it a success and should we buy it again. In terms of investing, we're looking for partnerships to create bundles. One of the big trends going around is protein care packages. And what we would like to do, this is filled basically with protein shakers, bottles, protein powder, and other exercise food. Our plans to do with the money, if we were to win, is in inventory and help increase that, as well as find new manufacturing and distributors for our product.
Some mentors we want to thank before we get out of here tonight. Russ right here. He actually introduced us to the website that we're currently buying our shakers from. And he also gave us some ideas, like Brandon just said, on the bundles and the care packages. Drew, who is our MC tonight, he helped us think of the idea in the first place. And also he informed us on the finances and the manufacturing part of it. And also the most important part, how to make money from this.
If any of you would like to contact us, you can follow us on Instagram at Fight Products, or if you would like to talk to us personally, you can email us at our Gmails or follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you all for having us out tonight. Have a great night.
So hi. Hi, my name is Connor Scherer, and to start off, I'd like to introduce myself. So from the day I was born, or if I could, I would have been able to fly, or drive and fly all these RC vehicles. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce to you the Flying Photo, a for-profit aerial imaging drone company. So let's get into one of the first applications that the Flying Photo has to offer. So the first application is with Realty. As you can see, I can provide 360-degree 4K high-resolution video of a home, as opposed to the traditional boring photos. I can also do slow, smooth pans of the house, highlighting the key architectural details, landscape design, and other exterior amenities. Next, I have aerial reveal shots. These can really help grab the back another. Can you go back to the video? No, the video that was playing. Moving on to small business market, I also like to provide videos for small businesses because the traditional market had just boring photos. So I like to be able to show the scope of the business to potential customers. Oh my God. So, I need to go back. Why isn't this working? So next is agricultural applications. So as you can see here, a farmer to go out and find these problem areas would have to, it'd be like finding a needle in a haystack for them. So what I did is I took an aerial view of a soybean field at about 400 feet. And as we can already see, we can start to see where the problem areas are. Next, let's take it a little bit further. This is a normal difference vegetation index photo. So what this does is it takes the information from the original photo and is able to process it, showing healthy vegetation as being green and unhealthy vegetation being red. So I explained what all this technology junk means, but what is the end result? Well, the end result for farmers is they're able to produce higher yields and ultimately higher profits and an improved bottom line. So my competitive advantage. My competitors, St. Louis Drones and St. Louis Aerial Video and Photography, charge $150 for just one photo, while I'm able to charge $125 for 20 minutes of custom footage. Also, not to mention, the market is pretty much untapped. As Tractica.com said, in 2015, the service industry for drones had a gross revenue of $150 million, and they projected by 2025 for that, the service revenue to be at $8.7 billion. Next, let's look at my return on investment. If I was to have just 5 clients, totaling 5 clients per week, totaling 10 hours of my time per week, after 1 year, I would have a total gross revenue of $31,250. Then let's look at my expenses. My initial investment was $2,700, and my weekly operating cost would be $300. This includes drone maintenance, drone insurance, my payroll, and my transportation fees. If we crunch the numbers, then my return on investment would be 177%. I would also like to expand in the future. The FAA projects that 42% of the drone service market will be in industrial inspections. And to do this, to take advantage of this, I would like to invest in infrared equipment and other drone equipment. Also, look at my accomplishments. I have 2 LLCs, the first of which being Eye in the Sky LLC. And this is my all-inclusive parent company. I would like to maintain this LLC so that as drone technology advances, I can have other companies branch out from this one to pursue those technologies. And then I have the Flying Photo. The Flying Photo I would like to reserve as a quadcopter drone photography business that is aimed at just quadcopter applications. And then lastly, I have an FAA remote pilot license. This license allows me to operate a drone legally for profit. So lastly, I'd like to thank the judges for being here tonight and also the audience. And tonight I am providing a deal of 20 minutes of custom footage for $100. Let's get flying.
Let's see. So my name is Caleb Salter, and I'm the head geek at BQ Media. And we provide quality web design and social media management solutions for small businesses. Now, I wanted to tell you a little bit about me so you can better understand not only who I am, but why I started my business. I got my first computer when I was 2, and I guess you could say I was hooked. I started my journey of serial entrepreneurship at 10 years old. I started selling used computers out of my parents' basement, and from there, I wanted to sell bow ties. But I realized I couldn't sew, and that idea went down the drain. At that point, I had learned web design skills because I wanted to sell bow ties on the internet. So a local clothing company hired me to do their website, and BQ Media was born. Since that point, I have landed 6 clients, had over $3,000 in revenue, and I've formed an LLC and gotten all the legal stuff done. BQ Media helps small businesses use the internet to achieve their goals. Now, what is one thing small business owners don't have a lot of? Amazing, right? At BQ Media, we're breaking the time barrier.
Should have put my eye out.
How much time do entrepreneurs have? This is a rough estimate of mine of how much free time entrepreneurs have in their day compared to everybody else. As you can see, there is a clear issue here. Now, how do we solve the time problem? We provide a customized set of questions, a pertinent to-do list, and we use creative thinking to get the business owner the best website possible for their money. How much of your time do we need, you might ask? As little as 1 hour. Now there's one more problem with web design. Web design is expensive. BQ Media solves that problem too. 30%, this is the amount of small business owners that don't have a website simply because of cost. Now, we provide customized finance solutions to fit your business's needs, so you can get the website your business needs, not just the website you can afford. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't most small businesses already have websites? The short answer is, kinda. Here's the bigger picture. So since 2014 or earlier, 41% of businesses have had a website, and another 27% plan to get a website in the next 2 years. This shows 65% of businesses will need a website in the next 3 years, because 41% have had their website since 2014 or before, and those websites are going to need a facelift. Now, my target market is entrepreneurs here in St. Louis. Most of these entrepreneurs are in between the ages of 35 and 65 years old and have a business with between 2 and 25 employees. And in all honesty, they don't really want to deal with their web marketing. They want somebody else to do it for them. And that's exactly what I do. Now, how am I marketing? Well, I love Twitter. I've tweeted 2,227 times, and I have 2,556 followers on the BQ Media Twitter account. I blog a lot. I have over 100 articles in the BQ Media blog. I have a podcast with 6 episodes so far, but this is going to grow a lot more this year. And a YouTube channel. I also love networking. I enjoy going to Hispanic Chamber of Commerce events, T-Rex, and most through Spark. I love networking through Spark. It's a great networking opportunity, and I'm so appreciative. Now, my competition, local web agencies and self-service solutions are big competitors of mine. How is BQ Media different? Well, we offer financing options tailored to fit your business's needs, friendly customer service, and easy-to-understand explanations. We minimize the time requirement of the business owner, and we can get you a design that feels good for you and your wallet. Now, my business model. I'm going to use the bronze package to illustrate what I'm saying. The upfront cost is $750, but we can get that all the way down to $44 a month. We do this by spreading the cost of the website out across 12, 18, or 24 months so that your business can afford it and be have less of an initial investment. This reduces the barrier to entry and allows us to sell more websites. So basically, you go from spending a pile of money to a little bit of money each month. Now, my financials. Programmers cost me between $10 and $15 an hour because I am hiring high school students. I'm sure that I look at the quality of their work and make sure that it's ready to deploy and it's good. My platform expenses are under $100 a month, and most jobs have infrastructure costs of around $50 to $75. Now, low overhead means lower cost for my clients so that I can provide the same services at the same level of professionalism with less cost. Now, I realize that I can't do everything forever, so I'm working on hiring a team of high school programmers right now, and I plan to build a team of freelancers in the future, as well as hiring an in-house team to do the work that I plan to acquire. Now, who are my clients? These are the clients that I have right now. This list is growing every single month. Now, what does this show? I really help my clients with real know-how, real support, and real solutions. Now, before I finish up, if you're interested in my web design services, please let me know. I'm here all night. And lastly, don't be squared. BQ. Thank you.
All right, before we get started here, Nicole, I can't find my wallet. You know where it is? Chancellor, can't find it.
I have a solution to that.
What might that be?
Why don't we put these together?
We do that just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spark Incubator. My name is Logan Williams. This is Nicole, and we are Lux Mount. So, like I said, my name is Logan Williams. I am the current founder and CEO of the Lux Mount team. Now, why the name? Why the case? What's the idea? Here's my story. 2 years ago when I walked into the gym, I saw my trainer writing down our workout on the whiteboard. His phone was stuck to the whiteboard. I was instantly hooked. As a child, I had an insane infatuation with magnets. Can't tell you why, but I just loved them. So when I saw the idea to bring it back into my life, I jumped on it. Now, here's the deal. The case I bought was called a rock form. It was a really cool case. It was clear, black rubber, awesome. It cost $60 though. So for me as a high school student, it was a pretty steep price. I still bid. Thought I enjoyed it. I got a case. It was pretty cool. Sad part was it broke within 3 months of using it. I got another one. It broke the exact same way. So the idea of Lux Mount was born.
I'm Nicole Caldwell, the COO of Lux Mount, and I first met Logan at the Spark introductory meeting in the summer. He instantly, I could tell, was a very passionate individual, and I'm like that too. I'm very hardworking and passionate, and I could tell we would make a great team. I had a few business ideas of my own, but they weren't feasible because I can't do everything myself, and I knew Logan and I would work really well together, and I was sleeping on his idea every single night. I kept thinking about it over and over, and I finally gained the courage to go up to him and ask if I could be a part of the team, and that's where I am right now.
So now, let's go ahead and get to the real problem. So, in the U.S., there are currently 200 plus million people who are able to drive a car every single day. On top of that, or within that group, there are also 55 million people who are going to the gym and trying to stay fit. Other competitors, such as this one on the screen right here, phone mounts in your car, they've been around for a long time. Everybody likes the hands-free aspect. But if you look right here, that thing's huge. It stays right, it takes up a whole cup holder, or other competitors even take up an air vent, which, when you're working with magnets, heat can make the magnet desensitize and not even work. Also right here, that is the original case I bought. That's called the Rockform V1 Clear. As you can see, there's a magnet that sticks straight to your dashboard and one built into the back. But what happens if you look at the rubber and plastic here, they completely separate. The adhesive is cheap and it comes straight out of China. So that's where I wanted to come in and change the idea. Our solution right here, if you look at the picture right there, you can't even see anything on the dashboard, right? Our solution is a minimal magnet design that sticks straight to your dashboard, and all you have to do is get your phone within distance of the magnet, and the mount will do the rest. No use of having to use two hands, hassle, time is a complete no factor in this. It simply mounts up exactly how you want it. Also, on our design, we incorporate the magnet into the case, not the mount. So your phone is versatile not just in your car, but also in the kitchen, in the gym, anywhere else you can think of, it's versatile. Our standout. As you can see, that is my phone actually in my car doing the exact job I wanted to do. As you can see, it's a simple design. It completely encases the phone and protects it using genuine leather and injection molded plastic, while also keeping a thin profile to not make your pants weigh 1,000 pounds. As you can see, it integrates simple and seamlessly right onto my dashboard. I can take that magnet off because the residue on the back of the pair magnet is just like a command strip, so there's no residue left behind. And it is durable. So durable, in fact, I've slammed my phone in my car door twice, and it still works today.
So some of our accomplishments that we're extremely proud of is that we are working with Purina in their prototype lab. We're working very closely with Alex Johnson and Jeff Berry, who are prototype designers. They've been helping us with marketing and discussing the structure of our case. Now, Russ Traeger, he is a mentor here at Spark, and he's worked about in every industry known to man. But his main industry is the shoe business. So he has direct ties with the leather company in Brazil, which provides premium kid skin, and don't worry, no children were harmed. It's actually just goat skin. And he also provided us with a new technology. It's called hydrophilic foam, and it can absorb 15 times its weight in liquids, and it absorbs shock. And this is a huge issue with cases. People need protection, and this is a new technology that's minimalistic, and we are going to put it in our case. So our marketing plan, the 4 Ps, product, place, price, promotion, and people. So our product, this is our second prototype right here, and we are going to be working with Purina to get a better prototype. We want to have the hydrophilic foam in there. We want to have our logo heat pressed on there, and overall we're working with them to graphically design it and then get out some new prototypes. We want to focus on selling it in the e-commerce world, so places like Etsy, Amazon. We're going to be selling it for $50, and we're going to be promoting it on all of our social media. So Instagram, Facebook, we also have a blog where we review phone cases, and our Snapchat and Twitter. So people, we have an idea that we are going to do discounts for our families and friends. That way they can try out the product, create a buzz, and then spread the product towards other people. Like Freed, we also want to sell business to business, places like Best Buy, AT&T, because they can create sales. And a lot of these employees are our target market. They are doing sales in their car, running to and fro to places. And this will help a lot determining what people need.
So what's our cost of production? Currently at Lux Mount, we have 2 main prototypes that we're working on to get out to the people. Right now, I've secured an injection molded plastic case for only $1. The leather is genuine sheepskin leather. That costs $7 for the size of the case we did. And this is keep in mind, this is for an iPhone 6 Plus. So sizes and prices will vary depending on the phone. The magnet is a neodymium chrome plated magnet. That costs $1.50. Labor, that's obviously, it can go up or down. It took me 30 minutes, so I valued it at $10. I wanted to come out higher than lower. And the hydrophilic foam itself, while it being very new, it's also very inexpensive yet very usable, so it was only 12 cents. That comes out for the very first prototype we have for being under $20, which if you looked at the last slide, we're selling for $50, which means a huge profit margin. Our customer base and potential. Like I said earlier, there are 200+ million drivers in the USA alone, which is a huge market. On top of that, we have 55 million people going to the gym. Now, if you look at the next bullet, you see the market we're trying to tap into is worth $26.35 billion. For two teenage entrepreneurs, that's huge. Now granted, that is all smartphone accessories, not just cases, but there are specific markets just for luxury phone cases, and we have tapped into those. If you also look at the next bullet, different primary and secondary research have yielded that most people who buy navigation built into their car don't even use it, either because it's outdated or too hard to use. So another key point for our selling. Also, our other customers, our quote everyday chefs out there, most people anymore in today's modern market are getting their recipes online, looking through tablets, through smartphones, wherever it may be. The cookbook, as great as it is sadly becoming outdated. Where we want to step in is create a stand or a mount where you can mount your iPad, your phone, wherever, right on top of the stove so you know what you're doing but still use both hands at the same time.
So we conducted primary research using a survey because we can look at all the secondary research we want, but we actually did it. So we surveyed people and we found out that 90% of them use their case for protection, and that's where our hydrophilic foam comes in. Next, 50% of people do have an in-car navigation system, but 90% use their phones anyway because, like Logan said, they're outdated and they don't work very well. With states going hands-free, you need your phone in your line of sight but out of the way so nobody gets hurt. Next, 71% of people use online recipes. They do not use cookbooks, so they'll be taking their phone into the kitchen. Also, 58% of our respondents use their phone at the gym. So while you're listening to music, or maybe you're looking at how to do a certain push-up, you can put your phone on the gym rack and see how to do it. So our competition, Rockform, which is the birth of this idea where Logan got it, Scoshi, and Aki. We'll be focusing mostly on Aki and another case called the anti-gravity case. So our SWOT analysis, some internal things about us that is positive is we can mount anywhere. So this is Aki's magnetic mount, and as you can see, it's only in the air vent. And as Logan said, heat is a huge issue with magnets. Also, the phone itself, the case, it does not have a magnet, so you can only put it on the vent. One of the negative things and a lesson learned for us is that we don't have mass production. We need to find a manufacturer who can make this fast and in bulk. Next, Aki does have a stainless steel plate, although it's not magnetic without the mount, but it still is thin, and that's an issue for us. We need to find a thin magnet that nobody can notice. So external opportunities, like we said, people aren't using in-car navigation. They're using their phones, and we need something that they can stick that phone on. Also, people are taking their phones to the kitchen, the gym, and we need something where they can use it anywhere. One of our threats is, in 10 years, it's predicted that we will have wearable technology instead of cell phones, so obviously our phones cases won't matter if we don't have cell phones anymore. So the anti-gravity case is a suction cup technology that does the same thing as us, but there's a few issues with it. So let's take a look at this video.
In case you guys missed that in the back, the phone fell off.
I say, sadly, you can't hear it, but what he's saying is so the case is advertised to be able to mount anywhere. They say the word anywhere. As you can see, anywhere is not right. Through our research, we have found that specific case can only mount to certain flat surfaces and surfaces that are not porous. Nicole, can you hold up the rod, please?
Yes, and also one point about this case, you have to clean it periodically every time you use it. With our case, we have very durable leather, and let's show you how ours can mount to any curved surface.
That is Lux.
Also protection, obviously he spent $300 and our hydrophilic foam would have prevented that.
I guess we should have done a longer demonstration.
You guys can wrap it up.
I say, all right, so here's our last couple things. Hello. All right. So, quick look at our timeline here and lessons learned. I officially started Lux Mount in July of 2016. I came in, I talked to Xantha, I didn't quite know my idea, but I knew it's something I wanted to do. Then she got me in touch with Purina, and the idea was really born. After that, you see on September 8th, that's when we met with Purina. Shortly after that, we got our first sample of actual leather. And that's when Lux 2 came into production.
So after Lux 2, we are going to be working with Purina to graphically design a foam case and then start manufacturing it. We want to push rough prototypes to customers within the next 2 or 3 weeks so we can see who our target market is and what we really need to focus on, the features that people like. Next, we need to design a new case and injection mold the leather. Also, this will be happening in November with Purina. Then we're going to manufacture, sell business to business in February, and March we expect to get a return on investment.
Basically, what's next for us, we want to have lines of accessories to come with it and start a sister company for those accessories. Judges, you all have our business canvas. We would talk more, we're running out of time. Finally, we want to thank you guys all for coming out. These are all of our social channels. Our website, sadly, is not quite up yet, but our Lux review site is. We thank you guys for coming. We hope to see you in the back to talk more.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. So, I have a brother. My brother plays the saxophone, and he is amazing. However, all he thinks about is music and his girlfriend. This summer, Tanner needed to make some money for college, so he applied at the local music store for a minimum wage job. Excuse me, what? Tanner, I said, you could be making double, triple minimum wage if you just teach private lessons. But he wasn't interested in taking the steps to do this, and he thought it would be too hard. So fast forward 4 months, and we are S2S, standing for student to student. My name is Addison Caldwell, and I am the CEO, and these are my co-founders, Nick Graham, COO, and Joe Roseman, CFO. S2S provides high school students with a platform to teach private lessons to younger kids in their school district. These private lessons will specifically be in extracurricular activities like art, music, and athletics. Any high school instructor that we find in a school district will only teach private lessons to elementary and middle school kids in their same school district. This is for insurance for both our high school instructors and the parents of their students, that they aren't just working with someone random, but someone in their community. Now we can tell you from experience, it is hard as a high schooler to find a good paying job that's also enjoyable. But S2S works to provide just that. Sorry. S2S handles all the facilitative work, like finding clients and setting up lessons, in order to ensure that all our high school instructors need to worry about is exploring their passion, gaining valuable job experience, doing what they love, and making money doing so. So we had the idea, but we needed to see if it could work. We did this in the form of 3 market research surveys that we sent to the 4 Parkway high schools, one for parents, students, and staff. From our student survey, which had 215 responses, we learned that high schoolers in our community are in fact interested in teaching younger kids their talent. From our parent survey, we learned that there is an average 75% interest and likelihood that they would use our survey. And from our staff survey, we got 60 recommendations of high schoolers that they think would be perfect S2S instructors. These recommendations are very important for us because Joe, Nick, and I cannot individually and fully validate every activity out there. Based on this evidence, we are confident that this business not only meets a need, but can be successful. Now to hear a little more about how it works.
All right, so at first, we would use Facebook to connect with our customers, and to organize all the schedules, we would use a third-party scheduling website. However, in the future, we plan on having our own website, which we actually own the domain for right now. And on the website, parents would go in and select the school district and activity of interest, and a list of instructor profiles would pop up. They would look something similar to this. Obviously not like this, but they would have some basic information as well as the schedule for when they are available. Now, to maximize convenience, the lessons will take place at clients' home. However, to make sure our instructors remain safe, we will require background checks for all of our clients. We are working with lawyers to decrease liability in this situation for us. And our ultimate goal by the end of the school year is to understand the system in Parkway well enough to be able to duplicate it in other school districts around St. Louis, and then after that, the sky's the limit. And finally, for our marketing plan, our target market is elementary and middle school parents, and we will reach them through networking. At the start, we'll use Facebook as well as our personal networks, i.e. friends, family, teachers, mentors, and we will also conduct focus groups with PTO in Parkway. However, in the future, when we expand, we will work closely with superintendents and principals and utilize their networks. And here's how the finances work.
All right, so we've already started raising capital for our website, the average cost of which is anywhere between $1,500 to $4,000, and encompasses the majority of our startup and overhead costs. We believe that we're going to break even soon after launching S2S because of the low overhead costs, which include the website and a few legal expenses. So as far as our commission split with instructors, we're going to take 30% for S2S and the instructors will take 70%. Due to our market research, we know from our market research surveys that parents in the Parkway School District are willing to pay anywhere between $20 and $30 per lesson. So we're going to start high and then lower that cost depending on the needs and limitations of our markets. So at $30 per lesson, and our cut being 30%, S2S is going to take $9 per lesson that happens, and our instructors will take $21. Our payment method will be through PayPal, which we know many people in our target market and generation already have accounts with PayPal and consider it easy and accessible to use. Okay, so at $30 per lesson, if we can tap into 8.8% of the 11,315 elementary and middle school kids, students in the Parkway School District, our net profit for 1 year will be $468,000. Now, what about gross revenue? What about gross revenue? If we have 0.44% only of that same number of elementary and middle school kids, our gross revenue for 1 year will be $78,000. Bump that up to the 8.8% that I mentioned earlier, still an attainable number of clients. Our gross revenue will be bumped up to $1.56 million per year.
All right, thank you for listening. If you want to come find us after the competition, we can tell you a little more about us and answer some questions. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mark Brish. This is Adam Abu Amr, and this is Colin Maxim.
Together we have created a company called Tumaini. Tumaini is an apparel company that sells very stylish clothing and then gives a portion of our profits to the Atai orphanage in Uganda.
Tumaini means my hope in Swahili, which is one of the main languages in Uganda. My hope is that no child in a third world country starves, has to drink water from a dirty well, and my hope is that no child has to choose between having an education or helping their family.
$1.25 is the line that's drawn for extreme poverty. Currently, 1.3 billion people are living in extreme poverty, including 400 million children.
Billions and billions of dollars are being poured into solving this problem, but is that money really solving anything?
Right now, most charities only look at what the current problem is. If they see a child starving, they'll probably try to buy them a meal plan. If they see a child drinking dirty water, they'll probably build them a well. And if they see a sick child, they'll probably buy them medicine. The only problem with this way of trying to end poverty is it doesn't end poverty. It momentarily solves it. What we'd like to do is to start making actual lasting change. And the way that we'd like to do that is to donate to the Atai orphanage, whose CEO, founder, Anna Amuge. One of her main principles is to make sure that the 54 children at that single orphanage receive an education. That way, those kids can go out, learn how to make their own money, and be self-sustainable, sustain themselves. You give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
We would like our customers to not only fall in love with our story and our solution, but also with our products. That is why we have put our stylish and simple design on these comfortable t-shirts first to start out, and then with volume we'd like to grow on more expensive products such as these hoodies.
Now, we wanted to hit the ground running, so we ordered 120 black and maroon bracelets to match the colors of the Atai orphanage for $60. We sold these bracelets for $3 a piece and sold out in 2.5 weeks. Because these bracelets were so cheap, a few of them broke, and we yes. All in all, we profited $2.50 per bracelet, giving us a return on investment of 223%.
At first, we were only selling to our family and friends, but we quickly realized it wasn't doing enough. So we decided to hire student ambassadors at all the Parkway schools to sell to the grades below us. And next, what we would like to do is break into the trend-setting market of middle schoolers and college students.
Next, we would like to exponentially expand. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to first sell through us, and then our website that we're working on building, and then through our student ambassadors. One of our long-term goals is to get into a local boutique or a Hallmark, which is known for picking up local causes.
Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, or you can contact us through our personal cell phones or emails if you have any questions. Thank you for coming tonight and listening.
Hello, I'm Isaac Swigert.
And I'm Charles Strong.
And our business is Phoenix Apparel. With Phoenix Apparel, me and my partner Charles, at the beginning of start, we didn't really know what we wanted to do. But we put our minds together and we decided we wanted to give back to those people in need some way we could. We didn't know what, but during this time, a recent natural disaster was the floods in Louisiana. So we decided we wanted to help them. What we did is we started selling these pearl leather chokers. We started making these and we didn't know what we were doing at first. We looked up videos on YouTube and we went to Hobby Lobby one night and started making them. The first night, they were pretty rough. But after that, we started getting better and then we started selling them. Within the first 2 weeks, we sold over $200 worth of our product. And through this, we learned a lot, that we could actually make money and help fast, and that with our company, we can actually help those people in need.
We also learned that we didn't want to make these bracelets or leather chokers anymore. It took a lot of time, and we were investing our own money with little return. So, our mentor, Russ Traeger, came up with the idea of selling leather belts. Leather belts were very easy for us to make. It's a $70 investment. We could brand it and resell it for $120 on Amazon and locally through our schools and different events. A couple of rough patches were our social media accounts. Our social media accounts were pretty rough. Our Instagram gained like 140 followers, I think, and we never updated and letting people know what we were doing or how we were making their products. And through that, we were losing followers and not gaining likes very fast.
So, what we want to do now is expand our business. It doesn't really matter to us what we sell. We just want to be selling so that we can give back to those people in need and help the common causes of today, like natural disasters.
Our goals are to expand our business and give back to those in need. Really, we don't care what the product is, as long as it's going back to the right place.
Thank you very much. We're Phoenix Apparel. We're two men with a heart. Have a great night.
Avion Socks, creating a way to express artistic value through fashion. We are the founders. I'm Graham Wells.
I'm DJ Pooji.
Now, the meaning behind our brand is it comes from aviation. Avion means airplane in French. Both of our fathers are pilots, so both of our families have a background in aviation. Aviation is also an elegant and international image. It is...
We didn't want another nautical theme brand. There are not many aviation themed fashion businesses, so we wanted to create one.
The focus of our socks is visual impact. They're artistic. We commission artists to hand design them by local artists and us, the founders ourselves. We take those designs, we hand carve them onto print blocks. We ink the blocks, place it on the sock, and then the image is imprinted onto the sock.
Custom initials are also available on select lines of sock. Our designs are sophisticated, upscale, and fun.
We offer 2 lines. First, our classic custom, which is our elegant logo with customizable initials on a luxurious black sock. And our brown bagger, which is a monthly design released in limited quantities only on a different colored sock.
Now you may ask, why this product? Well, everyone wears socks, so why not make something so practical into something also unique, artistic, and fun? By connecting art and fashion and fostering expression of individuality, Avion offers the answer.
We're targeting men of ages 13 to 60. Raise your hand if you wear socks. Our customer will be someone who values individuality, is image conscious, supportive of the arts because these socks are handcrafted, designed, printed, and no two are alike. Someone who also appreciates quality, comfort, and above all, performance. We and key individuals will be displaying this product to the public by wearing them, which triggers what I like to call word of mouth. We also will be posting on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We also have an alliance with By the People. He is an artist based in Wildwood who has shown success of sales in block print t-shirts, and by doing so, we will create a platform, a launch pad, if you will, because aviation theme, for our entrepreneurial success and enterprise. Our website is also in development and will be finished by the end of next week.
The cost structure of Avion is fairly simple. It costs exactly $5 to produce a pair of socks. We sell our pairs of socks for $15 to $20 depending on the line of sock. So the profit margin is $10 to $15 with a return on investment of 200 to 400% depending on the line. Our financial basis is all personally funded at the moment with personal loans. We have 2 financial. We have set up with I-9 Sports to have a concession stands for 2 days for reinvestment into our business with that capital. We will be self-sustaining, completely self-sustaining after our first 10 sales. What I would like you guys, the audience, to take home tonight is the mental association between Avion and preserving the joy of creating. We're supporting small-scale artists through small-scale projects to make your socks a statement.
Avion Socks, creating a way to express artistic value through fashion.
Take flight.
Hi, my name is Rachel Walters, and my product is KP Care. So it all started when I was about 8 years old. I started to develop red little bumps on my arms and face. And kids would make fun of me for it. This would make me self-conscious, not wanting to show off my arms. For the longest time, my family didn't know what was wrong. But then we went to a doctor, and he diagnosed me with keratosis pilaris, a harmless skin condition that causes small red bumps on your arms, face, and thighs, and leaves you with leaves your skin with a rough sandpaper feel. The doctor prescribed me with a cream, but I didn't like the way it made my skin feel. So thus I started researching on my own. Keratosis pilaris can also be referred to KP for short, which I will be throughout this presentation. And as you can see, here are a few pictures for reference. Okay, so what's the problem? It affects 80% of adolescents and 40% of adults. All current treatments are either expensive, have harmful ingredients, or become even more expensive through prescription. KP Care provides gentle, natural skincare for those with keratosis pilaris and dry skin for an affordable price. It is also, KP Care is a two-part system for $18. The first part of the system is an exfoliating sugar scrub. This allows for the dead skin to be removed and for deeper penetration with your moisturizer. And the second step is a moisturizer with a coconut oil base and other essential oils. This helps to lighten scars, rejuvenate your skin, and help with anti-aging. Moving on to my market analysis, some strengths to my product are that currently I make all my products by hand. My product is priced lower than all the other products on the market at the moment, and I have a very specific market. But I am not FDA approved yet, and I have and I don't have any capital. For opportunities, KP affects 200,000 people each year in the United States, ages 6 to 40. The U.S. skincare market is valued at $3.5 billion, and the U.S. natural personal care industry is valued at $9.6 billion. I plan on selling it on sites such as Etsy because it's an easy place to start e-commerce. And I also want to sell at farmers markets for a more personal sale. Some of my competitors include KP Elements, Keratosis Pilaris Treatment Cream. The issue with this one is that it is expensive and it is not natural. Another one is Glytone KP Kit, and this also is not natural and it's only sold through exclusive sites. The third is a prescription cream. The problem with this is that it becomes really expensive as well because of doctor's appointments. As you can see, here's my profit projection, and for 2 units, I will begin to break even and make a return on my investment. Some milestones is that in August, I made my first prototype, as you can see pictured. From that, I learned that I can get rid of unnecessary, expensive ingredients. Then I gained extensive knowledge on skincare disclaimers and KP. Then this month, I developed my second prototype, and I got my LLC. If I was to win this capital, I would use it for manufacturing because that's where most of my costs are at the moment. I would also use it for research and development and marketing. I would like to give a special thanks to Kent Sheehan, Russ Traeger, and Xantha Meyer. I will be selling in the back, and I would like to thank you for your time, and thank you.
Hi. All right. Everyone has a story. Think of yours. If you had to share that with the world, how would you do it? This is the question that I answer for my clients every day. They have a burning need to tell their story, and my company can do it best. That's WildWolf Films. My clients come to me with no video experience, tight timeframes, and low budgets. For them, an affordable, done quickly, high-quality video is seemingly impossible. But that's where I come in. I take their visions and turn them into gold. Whether it's the family that wants to film their father doing his karate routines before cancer claims him, or the aging golf instructor that wants to reach the fountain of youth through technology, or the woman's family that simply wants to surprise her with a beautiful video on her 40th birthday. These are the types of videos and more that I've been creating every day with my company, and so far, business has been pretty successful. I've also invested over $6,000 into this business because I really believe in what it does. I make sure I buy top quality everything and it's paid for in cash with revenues from previous projects. Of course, I make sure that I've at least made the cost of the item I'm going to buy in revenue before I buy it so we stay cash flow positive. With this model, every video we complete makes the next one better. Since starting Spark, I've raised my rate to $75 an hour, which is amazing for me as a teenager and a great deal for clients, as this is still cheaper than competing rates. So an average new client is going to bring in about $750 if their job takes 10 hours. In the past 6 weeks, WildWolf Film has picked up 5 clients, and we've grossed around $4,350. Hopefully we can keep that going and get new clients for the whole year. So speaking of that, sustainability, I can get new clients by anything from word of mouth, direct referrals, to me reaching out to businesses and individuals that I think are in need. Other times, clients come to me. In a day and age where everybody needs a video, charging below market rates for high quality products actually keeps me overbooked and growing. So this fully functioning, revenue generating, community pleasing business seems like it's a really good way for me to spend my time. You know, a lot of my friends have worked at places like Smoothie King, making $8 an hour, doing work they absolutely hate. And I'm lucky enough as a high school student to get paid around 10 times that to do work I'm really passionate about. However, I need to let you in on a little secret. The primary goal of WildWolf Films for me is not to make videos for other people. Although I enjoy the experience of finding their stories, pulling them out, and giving them films that tell them in a unique way, there's just another way I want to express my creativity. This is the first time I realized that I could use video to bring what was in my mind to the eyes of other people. Okay? So since then, I've realized that I really just want to write things, come up with things, create things from my brain and my heart, then go make it real with a video camera and be able to physically see people's reactions to it. So therefore, WildWolf Films will create original content. Whether it's a short film about a snowman fighting the sun, a Western film about a cowboy that, instead of fighting with a gun, fights with 2 cans of Jif peanut butter, or a short film about a boy that runs away from his home and things are so bad that he has to burn it to the ground. The possibilities of what we can create are endless, and since this is what I'm passionate about, it's really fun. Hopefully I can get a team of people to act as a crew and work with me. So the original content side of things is expected to be less profitable because that's just the industry of indie filmmaking. But what we've come up with is a self-sustaining model where our commercial projects directly fund our original projects. And we can make revenue from the original projects still with things such as monetizing the videos on the internet, entering them into film festivals, and doing brand endorsement deals. This is our first film festival project that we're working on, and we think that its originality will actually allow it to win. Look out for it in the future. If I'm selected as the winner tonight, I will use the money to increase the quality of my product as soon as tonight. I could go home and purchase an essential part of any pro's kit, a wireless microphone. Now, this would be crucial to the films that I make for years to come, and anybody that's worked with video knows that audio is just as important as the visual when it comes to what's high quality. This would be really beneficial. So in the end, I'm a high school student with a lot of ambition and not a lot of time. And Spark is a groundbreaking program that allows me to carve out work time, develop life skills, and make money doing what I love. Speaking of that, remember, everyone has a story. If you want me and WildWolf Films to help you tell yours, meet me in the back and I'm offering a special pitch competition discount. Maybe I can help you unleash your inner wild wolf. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out here today. I really appreciate it. I know it's quite a bit of a chunk of time to take out of your evening, but it's definitely a great thing to be supporting. So to get my pitch started, I'd like to start off with a few questions. You don't have to say your responses out loud, but just kind of think about it. So how many of you have had to wake up at night to help a loved one? I bet you have. You probably have. Yeah, you have, right? And how many times have you had to do that? Maybe a couple times a year, a few times a month. But imagine having to do that multiple times a night, every single night. That's the reality for families of people with cystic fibrosis. My business is created to help alleviate that problem. So let me give you some background information first. People with cystic fibrosis have to be elevated at a 20 to 45 degree angle when they sleep to help mucus drain from their lungs and to prevent aspiration. What the problem is that they continuously slide down in bed at night, as shown with this photo of an elderly woman with dementia who has slid down in her hospital bed and is now laying at an uncomfortable angle. Now, that's where my product comes in. The TredBed is going to help solve this problem by implementing conveyor belt technology and pressure sensors to help gently lift the person up in bed at night. Now, this idea was sparked by my mentor, Kent Sheen, who told me about his son, who he has to wake up 4 times a night to pull him up in bed. And after doing so for so many nights, him and his wife have started to develop shoulder problems. I want to help use the TredBed to alleviate that stress for families and to improve the quality of life for people with cystic fibrosis. So some of the solutions that the TredBed offers is that we allow the people with cystic fibrosis to be pulled up in bed because it gently pulls the individual up using conveyor belt technology and pressure sensors. We also reduce the risk for bed sores by reducing the friction against the skin. In a traditional method, people have to pull the person up manually, and that requires their skin to create friction against the bed sheets. And that is a breeding ground for bed sores, so we're eliminating that problem for them. And finally, we're eliminating health risks that include the chances for pneumonia and aspiration by having them remain elevated at a 20 to 45 degree angle. But people with cystic fibrosis aren't my only target market. There's also people with dementia, acid reflux, those at risk for pneumonia, and many more fall into the market of people that need to be propped up in bed at night. But before I get ahead of myself, that's my long-term goal as a target market. My short-term goal is to start going business to business. I would reach out to facilities like hospitals, home care facilities, nursing homes, and get them to purchase my product so that they could feed it out to the patients that they have and build up a reputation and quality of my product. This is the minimum amount of people that I would be helping in the USA with the TredBed. So now let's talk a little bit about my business structure and how I'm going to be marketing it. We start with a business-to-business structure. Marketing for this, we will be using social media because in recent times, businesses have been following companies' social media and looking at that to determine whether or not they purchase their product. Additionally, we will be using word of mouth to attract businesses to purchase our product and telemarketing so that we could get an individual communication with that individual business. In the long term, as we expand to business-to-consumer strategy, we would target market with social media as well, but alter it a little bit, so that we include online ads and print ads to further reach the general population, and promotional videos so that we can better explain our message and what's going on. And finally, the long-term goals for this are to build up employees and inventory. And our marketing long-term goals are to become a trusted brand that people around the world, not just in the USA, can buy from and trust. So you may be wondering who the competitors are for my product. So let's talk about that a little bit. We have the Roho, which is a mattress overlay that helps prevent bed sores in hospitals. This is commonly used in hospitals and home care facilities. We also have inclined bed therapy and wedge pillows, both cheap at-home solutions that anyone can use, but that aren't that effective. And finally, we have hospital beds. So what the problem with the two options on the outsides are that they are very expensive and hard to access for the typical everyday consumer. These are things that you would typically find in hospitals, in facilities meant for the care of this. Whereas the two in the middle are simple at-home methods, but they simply aren't effective in alleviating the health risks that are caused when a person slides down in bed. Now with the TredBed, we solve these problems because we use cheaper materials that are still high quality so that people can afford to purchase these solutions, but we also make sure that they stay elevated so that they don't have that health risk. Now, it's all great to say that I'd be able to do all these things, but you have to have funding. So where am I going to get the money from? I know we wish money grew on trees, but that's simply not the case. So I would be gaining funding in two ways. First, because I want to start prototyping within the next 2 weeks after completing my primary research, I'm going to start funding by doing simple things like selling household items on Craigslist, doing garage sales and bake sales, just to gain some funding so that I can put that into the prototyping. For a longer-term solution for funding, I would be looking towards getting grants and possibly competing in other pitch competitions so that I would be able to build up that funding for a prototype to be able to roll out better and high-quality products. And finally, what I'm trying to gain from this as a whole is that it would be great to win $500 from this competition today, but what I'm looking for most is for knowledge. I don't know how to get FDA approval, which is something I'm still looking for, and I'm not really sure how prototyping works. So if any of you know how to do such things, that's what I'm asking for today, so that you can help me help the communities. there's already some people that have been providing me with knowledge. Kent Sheen, who's one of our mentors here at Spark, Mr. Young, who's back there, he's one of my teachers from school and also an entrepreneur, and Xantha, of course, who has always been providing support through this entire time. So, at the end of the day, if you were able to help me with the knowledge so that I can help the community, I'd really appreciate that, so that we can help the TredBed be successful and help people all around the world. Thank you.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? Awesome. My name is Carlo Miller, and I'm going to lay out my vision. But first, before we start, a little bit about me. I go to Parkway South High School. I'm a junior there. I play football, also do track and field. Academically, I'm all right. But the main thing that has to do about my vision is me growing up. When I grew up, I didn't grow up out here in West County. I grew up basically in North St. Louis, East St. Louis. My mom, my dad, very poor, didn't really know what to do, skidding by. Luckily, moved out here before I became a freshman at Parkway South. So that was pretty cool. I thought, wow, this place is big. There's a lot of people. I remember when I first moved out here, I was angry because there was no noise. There was no noise. I didn't know how was I going to fall asleep. I usually fall asleep to cars and all that. But that really affected me as a person and what I wanted to do and how I felt about moving out here and seeing how it's so different it was. But my vision basically is a world where kids that are like me, where I grew up, they have opportunities in life, where they have a chance to succeed, and where less kids that I knew are dying to drugs and gangs and all that violence. And they might not even be in those, but it's just in their community. So, what's my business? Big old drum roll. Nothing. I don't have a business. I have the idea. I have the vision. That's it. That's all I have. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm up in front of you today. Because I have an idea, but I don't know how to get it started. I'm setting up meetings with people. I'm figuring out what they're doing. But I still need that help. I still need that step. And that's why I'm here. I want that help. I want to get that help. But I do have the numbers, even though I don't have my business. 45% of high schoolers and 35% of middle schoolers said they're in a gang in city schools and STL. High schools in the city of STL have a combined graduation rate of 46%. That's saying half of you, a little less than half, if you look to the section to your left or the section to your right, they probably wouldn't even be here. Because they wouldn't even finish high school. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. And 41% of people in state or federal prison don't have a high school diploma or any equivalent. And when I saw these numbers, I thought, that's crazy. Why does this happen? Why do these things happen to these people? And these kids, I finally came up with, they need those opportunities. I came out here, and there was Spark, there was hundreds of other programs. There's a scuba class at Parkway South. That's crazy. They have their own pool. And I thought when I first came, this is crazy. Like, I had a broken basketball hoop that we used to fight under every day. So what I want to do basically, even though I don't have my business, I want to start programs in those schools and give them these programs, give them these role models, their chances to succeed in life. And that's what I want to do. That's what I need to do, I feel like. That's my obligation. And, I mean, that's basically what I want to do. I just need to, I don't have my foot in the door. I'm knocking, but I need that help. And that's why I'm in front of you guys today, so I can get that help. That's about it. So shout out to Kelly and Gary Kimberlin for helping me out, setting me up with people. And thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Well, we had 15 fantastic companies come through today. Some were focused on commerce, making a little bit of cash. Others focused on innovation. And that's the great thing about this organization, the great thing about Spark, is we're here to help you in whatever your progress, whatever your mission is. And with the help of Maryville University and their fine donation, we're going to kick it over to Maryville University to announce the winners of the cash prizes in the Capitol for Spark's 2016 pitch competition.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out, and I am just glad to be a part of this group of wonderful high schoolers that have really shown us that we do have a wonderful future because of them. So our fifth runner-up is, drum roll, B Cubed. All right, and our fourth runner-up is Freed. Third place comes in with KP Care. All right, it's coming down to the wire here. Second place is Flying Photo. And finally, big drum roll. Out of 16, we have the number one with WildWolf Production.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the winners, and congratulations to everybody that pitched. I just walked into the judge's room for about 10 seconds, and there was lots of discussion. And I know what's even going to be better for all the entrepreneurs here is there's plenty of feedback, and people talk about who they can put in contact with who. So just because you're not a winner monetarily, I guarantee you will be a winner from the knowledge and connections that we pass along from these judges. So thank you, judges, for your time. Thank you, Maryville. Thank you, Xantha. And Xantha, if you'd like to have the last word.
Wow, I can't say, I'm so glad I didn't have to pick the winner. So this, I thought everyone did amazing. So thank you so much. If the judges could take a moment, I would like you to come up and take pictures. Parents also, if you want to come up on stage and take pictures, that would be awesome. But thank you to all the mentors, because this program wouldn't work without such amazing people. And we not only have lead mentors, but we have a lot of friends of Spark that advise me constantly, because I'm just a teacher and I have no idea what I'm doing. So I just want to say thanks to those 350 people I call, email, and beg to meet me for coffee and lunch every day. So thank you and have a good night. And we will see you December 8th. Our next pitch competition, the money gets a little bit higher. It's sponsored by the Parkway Alumni Association, and now the pot will go up to $1,500. So it'll be a little bit different, because now in that time, from now to December 8th, we'll tell you what we really learned now that we really got started. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it.